Hey, welcome back to Pine Tree State Restorations. And on the bench today, we have a Young America double action 22 short. Little history on this gun. Made by H&R from 1884 to 1941, Harrington and Richardson. The early ones had a round barrel. I mean, really early. And then they had the octagon barrel later. When they did the octagon barrel, I think they changed the serial number, started from zero. This one's only 131. It's the first model. Was 1884 and 1904. And then they later, same year as they changed it over to octagon, probably easier. So Harrington and Richardson started in 1884, and they went out of business in, let me thinking here, it's 1986. They went out of business. And then they got bought out by Marlin, and they called it H&R 1871, and that was 1991 to 2015. And then Remington 2007 2015, and that was pretty much it. This is a black powder 22 short, okay? So a lot of times with these guns, people are scared of them. They never work. They absolutely never work. Okay. Because the springs in them are very fragile. The parts are fragile. People are scared to work on them. They think they're going to blow up if they take them apart, because they're held together with pins, one hammer screw, and the rest are all pins. And it's not as bad as it looks. It's actually pretty easy. But what happens is a lot of guys will fix these. A lot of gunsmiths will fix these. Some won't even work on them. But if they do fix them, they always overlook the most important thing on the gun. And that's why the gun doesn't run long or work right. And that is, if you look up in the frame here, you see a little hole next to that slot. That hole goes all the way through the frame, comes out right where that pin goes. And that pin rubs on the end of the cylinder. See this little piece right here? It rubs on that. Now that does two things. Keeps the cylinder pin from rotating too much and keeps this from rotating backwards. It puts tension on it so it won't rotate backwards, because what happens is you could have this in your pocket, and without that spring, that thing could just go all over the place. You could pull the gun out and be on an empty cylinder. Okay, so a lot of times, almost every time, they overlook that, and that's half the gun. So most of the times the screw will come out. You have to fish the spring out, usually get stuck in there. But that piece, that pin will get basically bonded in the gun. You won't get it out. So you'll have to get the appropriate size drill bit, not too big to hit the threads, and drill that out. I drilled it out on this one. It was fused right to the gun. So, you got a piece of steel and a piece of cast iron. They just weld themselves right together over time. The black powder gets in there. You're not getting it out. So what happens is the gun will anti-rotate and cause all kinds of problems. And like I said, I've never seen a gunsmith yet that's fixed that problem. I fix them because I know they're there and I know how they work and how they run. But a lot of people just say, oh, well, I'll just time it. I'll put a new hand in it. I'll do this. I'll do that. We'll get it running. That's good enough. And it's a suicide special and it goes all over the place. And that's normal. Not normal. So coming up in part 2, I got parts coming. I will explain all this to you, all the parts I cleaned up, and I'll put it back together, and I'll show you the mistakes people make, gunsmiths make, on why this gun does not run right. This gun, properly put together, properly tuned, is a reliable little gun. But it has to be done right. Another thing that happens, the cylinder pin wears out on this end. And that's caused by that not grabbing, not putting any tension. So what happens is the hole down the frame gets wobbled out and the original pin's too small. So you either got to weld up the original pin and turn it back down, providing it still fits in the frame good. I made a new pin from scratch on the lathe so that it fits this and fits this tight and fits in the cylinder tight. Okay? so there's no play. That's important because if you got a bunch of play in that cylinder, it won't work. The hand and the bolt stop, the cylinder stop, will not work correctly on the gun. Everything's got to be tight. That cylinder's got to be in there. That pin can't be wobbling around, and you'll have a good working gun. This is not a gun you shoot every day. This is a deep concealment, backup, last ditch gun. That's what this is. But anyway, we'll see you in a week or so on part 2, and we'll be putting this back together. I have some parts coming in the mail. I got some spring stock coming, and I got a sear. The sear was missing on this gun because this gun's double action. It can shoot double or single action. So next time on part 2, we'll be putting it back together. We'll test firing it hopefully, and everything should be good. Thanks for watching Pine Tree State Restorations, and we will see you soon.